Hey guys, welcome back in Gurumlo IT, and in this video we are going to learn about the Unreal Engine AI behavior tree, how we need to use that, and basically we'll be learn that for the beginners, like if a beginners wants to going to use that, how they should start that. Okay, so for example, as you can see, I create a AI, it's using the AI behavior tree, so it can be find a random location and he can reach. I'm not sure about why it's not chasing me, because I already created that function but it's not working, so I need to check them also that. But for now, let's learn that the basics that how we need to set up the AI behavior tree that it can be executed. Okay, so first of all, the question is why we need to use the AI behavior tree. So for example, here there's a AI. Inside of AI, you can see there's a no code, there's a nothing inside of that, but the AI is working. How? Because the AI using the AI controller, that is basically the our custom NPC AI. So it's mean that just think that we have multiple AI. Okay, so we don't need to do tons of code inside of that AI. Just we need to, what you need to do, just come with that new AI and just select here the AI controller to your NPC AI controller and just drag and drop it here, so it will be do the same thing. Okay, you don't need to do anything more codes. Okay, just change the controller. Okay, so it's mean that you only change in a one master class and it will be affecting your all the child class. Okay, that is the super easiest way. That's why we need to use the AI behavior tree, and the AI behavior tree is more powerful than a basic blueprint codes what you do. Okay, so we already understand that why we need to use the AI behavior tree. Now let's learn that how we can create that. So first of all, let me just disable or just remove these characters, and let's make them in a empty totally. So let me just delete whatever I did. So let me set it the nuns. Okay, so here we have a now a default NPC, so just remove that second one. And also I'm going to remove that AI NPC behavior tree and whatever I created, the task and everything. So let me delete. Okay, so here I already deleted everything. I guess I need to delete these things also. Okay, so as you can see, I have nothing at here. Like if I drag and drop that character, it will be do nothing, it's have a state. So I already added navigation match volume in my scene, so it can be work for the AI, so AI can understand that where he need to go and why I don't need to go. Okay, now let's start learning the AI behavior tree, like how we need to use that. So for creating an AI behavior tree, we need to first of all create that the AI controller, that by that we can control any of NPC. So just go to your blueprint class, then in your all class you need to search that AI, and here you find the AI controller. So just select that. Now you can give anything name, so let's give that AI NPC AI controller. Okay, and then for executing this AI controller, we need a basically the AI, that artificial intelligence, that is our AI behavior tree. So we can give it name that anything whatever you want. So I'm just giving that NPC behavior tree. And then for executing the AI behavior tree, we must need some variables, booleans, or any kind of like variables. So for get that, we need to create a behavior blackboard. Inside of that blackboard, we can save our, or we can store our, or we can use the booleans, floats, integer, or any kind of like variable. Okay, so we need to create a blackboard. So let's create a blackboard and let's give it name that NPC. And here that is the NPC blackboard data. Okay, so our blackboard is now at here. So because we have our blackboard, so we can use that. So first of all, the most amazing thing is now we can double click and open our NPC, then double click and open your controller, and double click and open your behavior tree. We don't need to, as you can see, once we open that behavior tree, it will be automatically get the our default blackboard to create. Okay, recently it will be automatically get. That is the most beautiful way. So now from that behavior tree, you can also access the your blackboard, so you don't need to double click and open that. So as you can see, inside of that you already find a self actor reference. So there's it's a object variable, nothing else. Okay, now first of all we need to set up the our AI controller in our BP. So just select your AIBP and just click on this human icon. So that is your main class, and inside of that right side you find here that in a pawn section AI controller class, set here your basically the NPC AI controller. If you're not finding, so just search that NPC. Here you our NPC AI controller. Now compile and save. Okay, so we have now this thing. So inside of that AI controller we need to do the codes. So now we need to run our behavior tree in our controller. Make sure we need to run that in our behavior in our controller. So we'll be search here that run. Once we search run, we found here that run behavior tree. So just connect it with begin play, and here we need to select our NPC behavior tree. Okay, now compile and save. So now it can be run our behavior tree. So just think that if we have multiple behavior trees, so we can change any of them by selecting format here, or can change by our controller. Now in our blackboard data, let's come in behavior. So in the behavior we found basically the selector and sequence. The selector, it's mean that we can inside of selector we can give like sequence, like the multiple sequence like 1 or 2, like how we do in our locomotion. So just first of all let's give the selector, and instead of from the selector will be give a composition that section. Okay, it's kind of like the animation, the locomotion system. Okay, that is basically, and make sure the behavior tree always work from the left side to right side. Just think if you add like this thing another sequence, so here you find automatically that is 2 and this is 1 is 1. So it's mean that it will be first of all execute the left side, then it will be execute the right side. Okay, like that. Okay, now we have the sequence. So what you need to do, here already they give you some composition or the task that is ready-made presets, but we don't need to use them. So first of all you need to create a custom task that he need to find a location. So let's create a folder that all task. So instead of that all tasks, we can create our custom task. So here if you can press that new task. So once you create a new task, here you find that your task. So let's give it name that find location. Okay, this is our find location. Let's move that in our all tasks. So in our all tasks folder we find our all the tasks what you create. So we have now find location. So at here for execution this we need to search that execute. So exe. So here you find that event receive execution AI, that is basically kind of like event begin play. Then we need to finish that. So exe that is execution of the end. So exe execution finish. Now we can press here that successful, because we must need to successful or it can't be shift on his second sequence. So instead of that what you can do, that is from the player control will be get actor AC to your actor location. From that actor location what will do, get random reachable points, and the radius we can give anything whatever we want. Let's give that 50,000. And now we need to set up this, but why I will set up? So because now let's go to in our behavior tree. Now let's go to blackboard. So here we need to create our all the vectors or variables. So let's click on add a new key and just select the vector, and that is basically let's give find location. Okay, now compile and save. Now come in your find location. So here we need to create a variable that is basically get your blackboard reference. So let's give it that blackboard ref, that is basically your blackboard reference. Now from your variable type you need to search your basically the blackboard, that is basically your npc blackboard. So there should become let me search again. Okay, so here you find your blackboard key selector. So make sure that is in a public, because why we need to, this variable can be used in multiple tasks, or we can basically execute them or edit them. That's why it should be public. So just get that. Oh, as you can see in the blackboard, let me change that. Blackboard ref. Okay, from that we can set a blackboard value that is a vector, and we can connect it like this thing. Okay, once we have that, we can generate it like this. So at our randomly reachable points, we can generate it from the value. Okay, so now our value has been saved in our vector. So because our blackboard have this vector, so now we can come in our behavior tree, and from that we can search our custom that find location, the task what we created, and from that we can move that. So move to, and once we add the move to, it will be automatically add. So then we can add a executed that wait, and that we can give a duration that how much time it should be wait. So let's give it 2 seconds, and at here the find location, as you can see, that is a move. So we don't need to do anything at here. So just select here that find the location, because it's doing that find location value. It will be work on the find location value, what is the basically the value. Okay, so we have now our system or our logics. So now compile and saved, and your everything is now will be work. So compile save. Now if I just click on play the game, it should be work. So now I have a question, bro, why it's not working? Like seriously, as you can see, it's have the it's inside of that, but why it's not working? So let's see, let's check why it's not working. So first of all, let's select your npc. Let's select we need to first of all check that are we set up the controller or not. Yep, we set up the controller. Second, we need to check that in our controller are we run our behavior tree. Yes, we did that. Now at this selector, maybe it's working on that. So let me remove that selector, and this one I'm connecting with that. In our behavior tree, it's working. That sequence, it will be first of all find the location, and here at the blackboard we need to find the location. As you can see, now it should be work, and in a move it should be find location, and the wait, there's nothing need to do. Okay, now if I click on play, as you can see, it's working. Okay, it's finding a random location. So make sure you always select a select your variable, or it will be not work. The AI behavior tree is super powerful, so it's also need that super command, or it will be not work. So as you can see, our AI is now working. I guess you understand the logic of the our AI. So that's all, I guess you understand. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Love you all, and bye bye, and see you in the next video. I guess you like that. Like, yeah, I guess you like. So as you can see, you can also see that what it's doing, it's finding the location, it's moving that, and it's waiting. Okay, so that's all. Thank you.